If it's not bearing any fruit, you got to let that thing go. In today's story, I'm going to tell you the importance of letting go sometimes. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. You are listening to the Manifesto on Purpose show. I am the host of that show, Kimbaley. It is my duty and responsibility to help elevate you to a higher state of consciousness. And I do that right here. Thank you so much for being a part of this show. Thank you for inviting others. And thank you for subscribing here and on the website at Kimbaley, Kimbaley. If you find that you like this video and you would like to hear more from me, make sure that you click the like button and subscribe. Also, don't be stingy with the sharing either, because sharing is caring. Today, I'm going to share a very important topic with you, and I'm going to get into the numerical side of it too. And that is because coming up at the end of the month, you can expect the new podcast, Astro-Numerology Reveals. So if you love numerology, make sure that you check that out coming at the end of the month. And that's also going to be right here. Before I even get into today's story, let me introduce you to my sponsor for today. The sponsor for today is Astro-Numerologist LLoyd Strayhorn and the Star 8 mobile numerology app. This app is so cool because you can get a forecast for each day. It lets you know what to expect, what the energy is going to be like for that day. You can also check compatibility with people and even your business partners. There's so many things that you can do on this app, including learn more about yourself. So check that out. In order to check that out, you can get that on the website at a star 8 ASTAR the number 8.com. You can download it on Google Play or the App Store, or you can also go to Linktree/numbers and you, and there you'll have a whole list of his exclusive products and services, including his free monthly newsletter. Also, I want to let you know, if you're interested in knowing more about yourself, you can also go to Kimbaley.com to get a personal numerology report. You can get a yearly forecast for yourself, or you can check compatibility for those people that are close to you in your life. You know, those people that have strange ways and you're wondering what's so different about them or why you don't click with this person. You can learn more about them and how you should carry yourself around them with your compatibility report. And if you want to get deep down into the nuts and bolts of who you are, make sure that you book an Astro-Numerology consultation with Kimbaley. And once again, that website is Kimbaley, Kimbaley.com. Okay, my favorite part of the video, it is story time. This story takes me way back. It takes me back to a time when I was working with an agency that required secret clearance to get into the building. When in the administrative part of the building, I noticed, along with several of the other people that were working there, that our administration department needed severe cleaning. I mean, it wasn't taken care of by anybody, and you can tell people just left their stuff around. So the company must have got fed up with it too, because the company decided that they were going to hire an outside contractor to come in once a week to make sure that the building was clean the way that it was supposed to be. But there was one catch. Now, remember, I told you, in order to get in here, you had to have secret clearance. They decided to have one of the employees escort this contractor, giving them access to locked offices and things like that so that they can do the cleaning that they needed. Guess who was chosen for that detail? It was me. At first, I really didn't want to do it, but when I started, I kind of noticed that, hey, this is kind of easy. Then the contractor turned out to be a pretty nice person after all. Bill was his name. And I escorted Bill around, unlocking doors for him, helping him get into the offices. And one of the areas that probably was the worst area in the whole building was the staff lounge. Now, please forgive me because maybe all staff lounges are not like this. This staff lounge was a mess. And I thought to myself, how do people eat in here? That would be the place that we started at every evening. In the staff lounge, something caught my attention, something sitting over in the corner. It was this plant. It appeared to be dead, but you could look at the plant and tell that at some point it had life in it, and it probably was a very beautiful plant. Bill didn't even notice this plant at first. I'm the one who spotted it out, and I think the reason is because many years prior to that, I was big on plants and gardening and things like that, so it just caught my attention. But this plant was bad. It only had like a few leaves left on it, and most of those leaves were dying. This plant looked just like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree, and I kid you not. And I looked at Bill and I said, "Did you notice this plant?" He was like, "Sure. Should I take it to the garbage?" And I'm like, "Take it to the garbage? Are you crazy? This is a project." I love projects. So I told Bill, please don't throw the plant away. Let's do an experiment. At that time, it really piqued Bill's attention. Bill wanted to know what I was talking about. I said, let's bring this plant back to life. And he agreed. He said, that sounds like something that would be nice to do. He really didn't believe that it could be done. I could tell by the way he was looking in my eyes. But I was like, look, we can do this. So the very first thing that I began to do was I started to pluck off all of the remaining dead leaves off the plant. By the time I got finished, there really wasn't only but one or two leaves left on that plant. He looked at me kind of strangely and he said, I thought you said we weren't going to throw this plant away. And I said, we're not. We're plucking off the old leaves. And I explained further that once we plucked off the old leaves, it will make room for new leaves to come in. This is the important thing about a plant. A plant is nature. And I always tell people, if you want to know how we grow in life, take a look at nature. Nature does everything naturally. Think about the fall time. What's the first thing that alerts you that it's fall? It's probably the leaves falling from the trees. But this happens every year, and these trees still remain. So, what's going on? Same thing when a snake sheds its skin. The snake is still alive, but it's just transformed. So, that's what was going on with this plant. And a lot of times, that's what's happening in your life. When you have all these dying leaves on this plant, what's happening is those dying leaves are still taking in nutrients from the healthiest part of the plant for no purpose at all because they're dying. So once you take off the dead leaves, then you have more nutrients for the healthy part of the plant. It's the same way in your life too. And I'm going to break it down to you in numerical terms. When we think about the number nine, we say that the number nine is about endings and letting go. But also, the thing you should know about the nine is the nine is about fulfilling your wishes. So we wonder, how can two things happen in one cycle? How, on one hand, something can be taken away, but on the other hand, something is given birth. The reason why this can happen is through transformation. And when you look up the word transformation in the Chaldean numerology system, you see that the word transformation adds to a nine. So that is important for you to know. The way that these two different components come together, letting things go and rebirth, is a cycle. It all goes together because in order to gain something new, there's some things that have to be let go of. And this is important for you to know in your life. Whenever you're going through something in life, you have to pay attention to what's in your life that is no longer serving you, because those are the things that needs to be let go of. And some examples of that is that dress that's way too small for you that you keep holding on to because you feel like you may be able to fit in it again. Or that could be the extra stress from that thing in your life that is really not adding any value to your life at all. So it's important to know that those things that are not giving to your life are taking away from your life. And you have to be the steward of that. You have to be the one to be able to pluck your own leaves. When you get to that point, that's when things begin to flow in your life because you gave it space. You let it breathe. It's just like, think about a cup. I had a friend of mine that used to say every time her husband got paid, she would always go up to him and hold her hand out and say, "Fill my cup." And he would give her some money. And after a while, apparently he got tired of it because she did the same thing on another occasion. And he was like, "Your cup already full." So the point I'm trying to make is, how can you fill a cup that is already full? So that means in order to get something new into that cup, you're going to have to pour something out. Now, there's another way that I like looking at this too. There's actually a couple of ways. I don't know why, but I love this conversation about transformation because there's so many ways you can take it. But the other way that I like to talk about it is the wrecking ball effect. Everybody goes outside and see this big old wrecking ball, and the wrecking ball seems like the bad guys. For some people that don't understand what the wrecking ball is, the wrecking ball is that big piece of equipment on the construction site with the ball hanging on it that they use to tear down the old buildings. You may look at that and say, now, why in the world would someone want to tear down a building? You see, somebody may want to tear that building down because the building is vacant and is no longer serving a purpose. It's outdated and is no longer serving a purpose. So the best thing to do is to free up that space to put a new building there. This really is about alchemy. This is really about alchemy. Really taking stuff and transforming it into something else. So when they tear down that old building, there's a purpose for that. So that's why it's important for you not to mourn over the things that you lose so much, because sometimes those very things that you are losing are those things that you are holding on to subconsciously that are not helping you at all. And the way I feel about that is, if it is not helping you, it has the potential to hurt you. So this is my challenge for you. I want you to look around in your life and, beginning today, look at those things that are outdated in your life. Those things where you need to be saying, hey, it's time to go. Whether it's in your closet, whether it's furniture, whether it is work, or maybe even if it's the people in your life. What things are in your life that are causing problems that are not serving you? When you find those things that are not serving you, you find the potential challenges in your life. Whatever that thing was that was in your life has played out its purpose. That's what this whole physical experience is about. Things are born and things die. So you can expect for things to come and things to go. But it's so hard sometimes for people to let go. So now that we say that, what are we going to do about it? How do we know that it's time for transformation? Number one is your intentions are not lining up. When your intentions are not aligning up, the first thing you need to do is find out what in your life is counterintuitive to your intentions. For example, for someone that is trying to align with a certain amount of money or prosperity, is there something there, like a mindset, that is preventing you from aligning with that desire? Look into those intentions and see what you're holding on to that's preventing you from aligning with them. Now, I have to tell you the results. By the time it was all said and done, we had a beautiful plant. It was a plant that we both were proud of. I wish I could have taken it home. There were so many people complimenting the way that that plant was. Some people even thought that it was a new plant. That's transformation. You're not here to just stay the same all the time. Life is about change. Life is about transformation. You have to do some things that are different. And when you're not flowing in that way naturally, then things will happen in the universe to support that transformation. Don't be afraid to let go, because sometimes letting go is what you really need. Now, I have to let you go. But guess what? I love you to life. This is how you manifest on purpose.